Kia ora, bros and girls, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do a tape breakdown. Well, it's not really a tape breakdown, to be honest. It's just kind of tips and tricks on how to take Minista Sinista out. So the way I see it is you have kind of 3 or 4 strategies to take this guy out. And the first, basically there's 4, okay? The first one is you out-damage this guy. You just do so much damage that his regen does not matter. The main problem with Minista Sinista is there's actually 2 problems with this boss. The first one is that he's got that aggression precision node. So that means if you got to play aggressively, if you let him touch you with a lot of precision, that's it. You're as good as dead. So you just got to cycle the evasion of that SP1 and keep getting aggressive, hopefully, and hope that he kind of throws the specials. The second problem is he regens 70% of any critical damage that you do. So like we said, there's 4 ways. Way number 1 is just out damage this guy, right? And there's a couple of ways you can out damage this guy. Either you can play the long game, like with a Ghost or a Star-Lord, where you're coming in and you don't really care if you regens from the crits, because you're constantly going to keep doing more and more base damage, and the longer you last in the fight, the more damage you do, and eventually you just chip him out. Which means you're really fighting against 170% of his life, but that's fine. Or you can take him out in a one-shot, which is also out damaging. So that's what we're doing here with Havoc. What we're doing is we're just binding our time, building the stacks, building the prowess, building the plasma charges on him, and then once he's at 50-60%, probably even at 70%, with a Havoc, an unawakened Havoc at rank 5, you can just finish him off straight away with the SP3. He's not going to regen from that. You can't regen when you're dead. Okay, so that's option number 1. Option number 2 is you can try and heal block this guy. And there's several options here. I'll tell you some good ones and not so good ones. The best one is Warlock. You'll see this here. If you want to see a 4-star rank 3 Warlock almost one-shot this guy, go and watch my video of my first run through. I do it with a 4-star rank 3 Warlock and a 4-star rank 3 Sentinel. It's a very, very long fight, but it's basically the same principles. And in that fight, or in that video, like I said, if you have a stacked Warlock, this guy is not going to last very long against you. Now, the way Warlock works is, once he's got 20 of those virus charges, the yellow ones, that converts into a red charge, and the opponent is infected. That's kind of that buzzy looking coloring along Minister Sinister. Once he's infected, he can't regen from any... nobody can regen. Not even Kang can regen. Not even an alternate live stream planet. You can't regen from that stuff. So with Warlock, all you got to do is infect him. He doesn't regen, and then you just hit into him, and you can basically just play as aggressively as you want, and you kill him. You don't even have to worry really too much if he gains power, because you've got a power drain on the SP1 as well, particularly if they're infected. Warlock, if you have him, is the answer to all your Minister Sinister problems, okay? So if you're lucky enough to have him, he's one of the go-tos. If not, there are other options. I'll tell you 2 ones that seem good but are not. Yondu and Civil Warrior. Civil Warrior and actually Mysterio, because I've tested those 3, and while they have heal blocks, they don't seem to work so well. The heal block is just not long enough. So I wouldn't recommend bringing them. With Yondu, Minista Sinista reflects the SP1 damage back to you, like the bleed, and so you're just going to be constantly bleeding if you're constantly using SP1. So I wouldn't recommend those guys. Another good option, which is like a cheap man's Warlock. Cheap man's Warlock? Yeah. Actually, 2 good options that are like cheap man's Warlocks is Sentinel and Darkhawk. Now, if you want to speed things up a little bit with Darkhawk, you can add Night Thrasher as a synergy, if you have him. So Darkhawk and Night Thrasher starts off Darkhawk in one of the 3 modes straight away. What you really want is you want the final mode. If you're a bit lucky, you'll start in the 3rd mode, and that should heal block Minister Sinista for 40 seconds, which is plenty of time for you to go in, do some damage, pull your SP3 again, continue the null mode, and as long as you're in null mode, for 40 seconds he's heal blocked, and you do increased damage, so he can't regen that crit and it makes this fight a lot easier. I actually end up dying here in the end. I think I take my eyes off the ball a little bit, and I get clipped. But as you can see, this guy's a 5-star rank 4, and to be honest, he doesn't really do too badly. You can easily one-shot this guy. You could probably do it with a maxed out 4-star as well. I just don't happen to have a stacked 4-star version of this champ. So Darkhawk is great. The other option that you can use is Sentinel. If you have a stacked Sentinel, or if you have a maxed 4-star Sentinel, you can just spam that SP1, continue heal blocking him. That will also work. And as you get to 100 charges, you can even do a lot more damage to this guy. So you can out damage, you can heal block, or you can heal reverse. So Void is the final option that I'm going to display on this video, and everybody knows the trick with Void is you get the buffs up, you get 2 petrifies, and you can actually you could probably use Cap as well for this if he's awakened, because I think you can get a petrify off Cap. I don't have Cap Infinity War, and I don't know how to use him, and I don't know how his petrify works, but I've seen videos around of people using him to get petrified, basically what Void does, straight out of the hat. But I think for this fight, it's better actually to have Void, because it's going to be a bit of a long fight, and you need to be aggressive anyway to play against that aggression precision, right? So once you've got a couple of petrifies, then all of a sudden he's not going to regen anyway when you're hitting and critting into him. And once you have Fear of the Void, then you have more petrified charges. Now he's taking more damage. So if he's got Fear of the Void and 2 petrifies, now he's actually taking 170% every time you hit him, and probably more, to be honest, because you're not just reversing the regen, which every time you do a crit, so let's say you do 100 crit, he regens 70%. So if you reverse it, you do 100 crit, he regens 70%, but that's reversed. So you actually do 170% damage with 1 Fear of the Void. If you have a Fear of the Void and 2 petrifies, actually you do 100 damage and he regens 70, but he takes not only 70 damage, he takes 200%. So he takes 70 and 70. So for 100 damage, you're doing 240 damage. And so the longer the fight goes on, the more Fear of the Voids you have, the more petrifies you have. If you'll excuse my terrible explanation of it, basically he will just keep killing himself quicker and quicker. The only thing you have to take care of is the aggression precision, just keeping that in check, and just playing aggressively. Don't get him to his SP2, don't ever get him to his SP2. I'm pretty sure not a lot of people know how to evade his SP2, and it's not very easy to evade anyway, and it throws a concussion on you, so you don't want to do that. You just want to rotate the SP1. But yeah, Void is another fantastic option. So those are your options, guys. If you are struggling with this boss, I hope this video helped with that. If it did, or if you don't have any of those guys, hit me up, you know. But if it did help, do help support the channel. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, particularly if you subscribe and those numbers grow, share it with your alliance, then I can bring you more videos like this, more ones, more helpful ones, and ones of, you know, tape breakdowns and how to get past really difficult opponents in this game. So I hope this helps, guys. Ka kite ano. See you in the next one.